One second. Okay, everybody, welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam, Great Histories and Personalities of History from Sanskrit. Over 5,000 years old histories here of the world, and we can learn so much from these histories. These two chapters are two of my very favorite in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. And when we're reading these tonight, what I'd like everybody to do, if you don't mind, is to see this as a movie. Maybe if you've ever watched a great epic movie, right, where there's tremendous architecture and buildings and just listen to the description of these great halls and palaces and so forth. And this is the life. This is a day in the life of Krishna. Wouldn't you like to know what's a day in the life of God? What does that look like? And so this is very, very wonderful. Narada Muni himself visits Lord Krishna's palaces in Dwarka when he was the king, and he had 16,000 palaces and wives there. And Narada just wanted to see this expansive prowess of the Lord. And so he went there to do that. His prayers are remarkable prayers. And then the next chapter is basically Krishna's daily activities, and it'll blow your mind. And if you just like listen to what Krishna is doing, what examples that he's setting. I think you're going to really, really relish these two chapters. Not a lot of philosophy here, but we can open it up for any questions or comments anybody has. And in the meantime, I'll read the first, say, 10 or 15, and we'll pass it around. Is that good? Start out always with pranams to the spiritual master. Chant with me if you know them. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devim Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Yadesha Tarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giridhara Srivas Ari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is chapter 69 in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 69. Narada Muni visits Lord Krishna's palaces in the city of Dwarka. And I'll read the first few. Sukadeva Goswami said, hearing that Lord Krishna had killed Narkasura and had alone married many brides, Narada Muni desired to see the Lord in this situation. He thought, it is quite amazing that in a single body, Lord Krishna simultaneously married 16,000 women, each in a separate palace. Thus the sage of the demigods eagerly went to Dwarka. The city was filled with the sounds of birds and bees flying about the parks and pleasure gardens, while its lakes, crowded with blooming Indravara, Amboja, Kalara, Kumunda, and the Uptala lotuses, resounded with the calls of swans and cranes. Dwarka hosted 900,000 royal palaces, all constructed with crystal and silver and splendorously decorated with huge emeralds. Inside these palaces, the furnishings were bedecked with gold and jewels. Traffic moved along the well laid out system of boulevards, roads, intersections, and marketplaces, and many assembly houses and temples of demigods graced the charming city of Dwarka. The roads, courtyards, commercial streets, and residential patios were all sprinkled with water and shaded from the sun's heat by banners waving from flagpoles. In the city of Dwarka was a beautiful private quarter worshipped by the planetary rulers. This district where the demigod Vishvakarma had shown all his divine skill was the residential area of Lord Hari, and thus it was gorgeously decorated by the 16,000 palaces of Lord Krishna's queens. Narada Muni entered one of these immense palaces. Supporting the palace were coral pillars decoratively inlaid with Vidurya gems. Sapphires bedecked the walls, and the floors glowed with perpetual brilliance. In that palace, Twashta had arranged canopies with hanging strands of pearls. There were also seats and beads fashioned of ivory and precious jewels. In attendance were many well-dressed maidservants bearing lockets on their necks, and also armor-clad guards with turbans fine uniforms, and jeweled earrings. The glow of numerous jewel-studded lamps dispelled all darkness in the palace. My dear king, on the ornate ridges of the roof danced loudly crying peacocks, who saw the fragrant agruru incense escaping through the holes of the latticed windows and mistook it for a cloud. In that palace, the learned Brahmana saw the Lord of the Sattvatas, Sri Krishna, together with his wife, who fanned him with a gold-handled yak-tail fan. She personally served him in this way, even though she was constantly attended by thousands of maidservants equal to her in personal character, beauty, youth, and fine dress. Who would like to pick up at text 14?
I think my husband does.
I'll do it.
Yep,
Go.
so let me get this going and I'll turn this back over to him. Go.
Good.
There you go.
I don't look at it. The Supreme Lord is the greatest upholder of religious principles. Thus, when he noticed Narada, he rose at once from Goddess Shri's bed, bowed his crowned head at Narada's feet, and joining his palms, had the sage sit in his own seat. The Lord bathed Narada's feet and then put water on his own head. Although Lord Krishna is the supreme spiritual authority of the universe and master of his devotees, it was proper for him to behave in this way, for his name is Brahmaya Deva.
Yeah.
The Lord who favors the Brahmanas. Thus, Sri Krishna honored sage Narada by bathing his feet, even though the water that bathes the Lord's own feet comes from the Ganges, the ultimate holy shrine. After fully worshiping this great sage, the demigods, according to the Vedic injunctions, Lord Krishna, who is himself the original sage, Narayana, the friend of Narada, conversed with Narada, and the Lord's measured speech was as sweet as nectar. Finally, the Lord asked Narada, "What may we do for you, our Lord and Master?" Sri Narada said, O Almighty Lord, it is no surprise that you, the ruler of all worlds, show friendship for all people and yet subdue the envious. As we well know, you descend by your sweet will in order to bestow the highest good on this universe by maintaining and protecting it. Thus your glories are widely sung. Now I have seen your feet, which great liberation to your devotees, which even Lord Brahma and other great personalities of unfathomable intelligence can only meditate upon within their hearts, and which those who have fallen into the well of material existence resort to for deliverance. Please favor me so that I may constantly think of you as I travel about. Please grant me the power to remember you. Narada then entered the palace of another of Lord Krishna's wives, my dear king. He was eager to witness the spiritual potency possessed by the master of all masters of mystic power. There he saw the Lord playing with dice with his beloved consort and his friend Uddhava. Lord Krishna worshipped Narada by standing up, offering him a seat, and so on. And then, if he did not know, ask him, when did you arrive? What can needy persons like us do for those who are full of themselves? In any case, my dear Brahmana, please make my life auspicious. Thus addressed, Narada was astonished. He simply stood up silently and went to another place. This time Naradaji saw that Lord Krishna was engaged as an affectionate father petting his small children. From there he entered another palace and saw Lord Krishna preparing to take his bath. In one place, the Lord was offering oblations unto the sacrificial fires. In another, worshiping through the 5
Mahayagnas.
yajnas. In another, feeding the brahmanas. And yet in another, eating the remnants of food left by the brahmana. Somewhere, Lord Krishna was observing the rituals for worship. At sunset, by refraining from speech and quietly chanting the Gayatri mantra, and elsewhere, he was moving about with a sword and shield in areas set aside for sword practice. In one place, Lord Gadagraj was riding on a horse, elephant, and chariots. And another place, he was resting on his bed with bards reciting his glory. Somewhere he was consulting with royal ministers like Uddhava, and somewhere else he was enjoying in the water, surrounded by many society girls and other young women. Somewhere he was getting well-decorated cows to exalted brahmanas, and elsewhere he was listening to the auspicious narration of epic history of the Puranas. I'll let somebody else pick up there then.
All right.
Yeah, text 29.
Yep.
30, I think now.
No.
No.
No, 29. You're right. I'm wrong.
Okay, who's going to get it?
I can jump in.
Okay, please, Jeremiah. Thank you.
No problem. All right, 29. Somewhere, Lord Krishna was found enjoying the company of a particular wife by exchanging joking words with her. Somewhere else, he was found engaged, along with his wife, in religious ritualistic functions. Somewhere, Krishna was found engaged in matters of economic development. And somewhere else, he was found enjoying family life according to the regulative principles of the Sastras. Somewhere, he was sitting alone, meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to material nature, and somewhere he was rendering menial service to his elders, offering them desirable things and reverential worship. In one place, he was planning battles in consultation with some of his advisors, and in another place, he was making peace. Somewhere, Lord Kasava and Lord Balarama were together pondering the welfare of the pious. Narada saw Lord Krishna engaged in getting him sons and daughters married to suitable brides and bridegrooms at the appropriate time, and the marriage ceremonies were being performed with great pomp. Narada observed how Sri Krishna, the master of all yoga masters, arranged to send away his daughters and sons-in-law, and also to receive them home again at the time of great holiday celebrations. All the citizens were astonished to see all these celebrations. Let me keep going, or?
Yeah, take 10 or 15.
Okay, gotcha. Somewhere he was worshiping all the demigods with elaborate sacrifices, and elsewhere he was fulfilling his religious obligations by doing public welfare work, such as the construction of wells, public parks, and monasteries. In another place, he was on a hunting expedition, mounted on his Sindhi horse and accompanied by the most heroic of Yadus. He was killing animals meant for offering and sacrifice. Somewhere, Krishna, the Lord of mystic power, was moving about his guise among the homes of ministers and other citizens in order to understand what each of them was thinking. Having thus seen this display of Lord Yogamaya, Narada mildly laughed and then addressed Lord Hurikesh, who was adopting the behavior of a human being. Narada said, "Now we understand your mystic potencies, which are difficult to comprehend even for great mystics, O Supreme Soul, master of all mystic power. Only by serving your feet have I been able to perceive your powers. O Lord, please give me your leave. I will wander about the worlds which are flooded with your fame, loudly singing about your pastimes, which purify the universe." The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "O Brahmana, I am the speaker of religion, its performer and sanctioner. I observe religious principles to teach them to the world. My child, so do not be disturbed.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. That was good. We got a Jai and Vamsi. Any one of you guys want to step up a little bit? They may be watching from a distance and not actually participating. Let's see if they are. Otherwise, we'll go back around again.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can read. Can you tell me the word, please?
Yes, it's text 41.
Yes. Sukadev Goswami said, thus, in every place, Narada saw the Lord in his same personal form, executing the transcendental principles of religion that purify those engaged in household affairs. Having repeatedly seen the vast mystic display of Lord Krishna, whose power is unlimited, the sage was amazed and filled with wonder. Lord Krishna greatly honored Narada, faithfully presenting him with gifts related to economic prosperity, sense gratification, and religious duties. That fully satisfied, the sage departed, constantly remembering the Lord. In this way, Lord Narayana imitated the ways of ordinary human, manifesting his divine potencies for the benefit of all beings. Thus, he enjoyed, dear king, in the company of his 16,000 exalted consorts who served the Lord with their shy, affectionate glances and laughter. Text 45. Lord Hari is the ultimate cause of universal creation, maintenance, and destruction. My dear king, anyone who chants about, hears about, or simply appreciates the extraordinary activities he performed in this world, which are impossible to imitate, will surely develop devotion for the Supreme Lord, the bestower of liberation. Hare Krishna.
Beautiful. You can keep reading a little bit. We were trying to get you to about 15 verses.
Sure. Chapter 70,
right?
Text 1.
Right.
Sukadev Goswami said, as dawn approached, the wives of Lord Madhava, each embraced around the neck by her husband, cursed the crowing roosters. The ladies were disturbed that now they would be separated from him. The bees buzzing, caused by the fragrant breeze from Parijata garden, roused the birds from sleep. And when the birds began to sing loudly, they woke Lord Krishna like poets reciting his glories. Lying in her beloved's arms, Queen Vaidharvi did not like this most auspicious hour, for it meant she would lose his embrace. Lord Madhava would rise during the Brahma Muhurta period and touch water. With clear mind, he would then meditate upon himself, the single, self-luminous, unequaled, and infallible supreme truth known as Brahman, who by his very nature ever dispels all contamination, and who, through his personal energies, which cause the creation and destruction of this universe, manifests his own pure and blissful existence. Text 6. That most saintly of personalities would then breathe in sanctified water, bathe in sanctified water, dress himself in lower and upper garments, and perform the entire sequence of prescribed rituals, beginning with worship at dawn. After offering oblations into the sacred fire, Lord Krishna would silently chant the Gayatri mantra. Each day, the Lord worshipped the rising sun and propitiated the demigods, sages, and forefathers who are all his expansions. The self-possessed Lord would then carefully worship his elders and brahmanas. To those well-attired brahmanas, he would offer herds of tame and peaceful cows with gold-plated horns and pearl necklaces. These cows were also dressed in fine clothes, and the fronts of their hooves were plated with silver. Providers of abundant milk, they had each given birth only once and were accompanied by their calves. Daily, the Lord gave many groups of 13,084 cows to the learned brahmanas, together with linen, deerskin, and sesame seeds. Lord Krishna would offer obeisances to the cows, brahmanas, and demigods, his elders and spiritual masters, and all living beings, all of whom are expansion of his supreme personality. Then he would touch auspicious things. Hare Krishna.
Haribo. Very wonderful. Now,
Thank you.
Ajay, are you there? Oh, there it's, yeah. Heb, are you there, Ajay? Hello. I don't know if Ajay is with us. Heb, would you like to read? Is
Yeah,
anybody else?
Eb and Winley are here. That's
Hey,
wonderful.
glad to have you guys. Do you know where we are? Do you want to read? I'll tell you what I'll do. If you guys chat on the chat with Ranga, we'll figure it out. I'll read the next, say, 10, okay? Here we go. Lord Krishna would offer obeisances to the cows, brahmanas, and demigods, his elders and spiritual masters, and all living beings, all of whom are expansions of his supreme personality. Then he would touch auspicious things. He would decorate his body, the very ornament of human society, with his own special clothes and jewelry, and with divine flower garlands and ointments. He would then look at ghee, a mirror, the cows and the bulls, the Brahmins and the demigods, and see to it that the members of all social classes living in the palace and throughout the city were satisfied with gifts. After this, he would greet his ministers, gratifying them by fulfilling all their desires. After first distributing flower garlands, pan, and sandalwood paste to the brahmanas, he would give these gifts to his friends, ministers, and wives, and finally he would partake of them himself. By then, the Lord's driver would have brought his supremely wonderful chariot yoked with Sugriva and his other horses. His charioteer would bow down to the Lord and then stand before him. Holding on to his charioteer's hands, Lord Krishna would mount the chariot together with Satyaki and Uddhava, just like the sun rising over the easternmost mountain. Anybody else ready to read yet? The palace women would look, say again?
I could read for a while if you want.
Okay, well, we're just passing it around now. There's another
Okay.
like 30 verses here.
Okay. I don't know if Heb and Winley have
Logged on to the thing.
audio,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Because they
I'm not
didn't
either.
last time.
Okay, you read
Okay.
10 and then give it back to Vamsi
Yeah,
or Jeremiah. Give it to Jeremiah and then Vamsi.
Okay. Right, we're on chapter 70, text 16. The palace women would look upon Lord Krishna with shy, loving glances, and thus he would get free from them only with difficulty. He would then set off, his smiling face captivating their minds. The Lord, attended by all the Vaishnavis, would enter the Sudama assembly hall, which protects those who enter it from the 6 waves of material life, dear kin. As the Almighty Supreme Lord would seat himself upon his exalted throne there in the assembly hall, he shone with his unique effulgence, illuminating all the quarters of space. Surrounded by the Yadus, lines among men, that best of the Yadus appeared like the moon amidst many stars. And there, O king, jesters would entertain the Lord by displaying various comic moods. Expert entertainers would perform for him, and female dancers would dance energetically. These performers would dance and sing to the sounds of madanga, venas, marajas, flutes, cymbals, and conch shells, while professional poets, chroniclers, and panegyrists would recite the Lord's glories. Some Brahmanas sitting in that assembly hall would fluently chant Vedic mantras, while others recounted stories of past kings of pious renown. Once, a certain person arrived in the assembly of Lord Krishna, who had never been seen there before. The doorkeepers announced him to the Lord and then escorted him inside. That person bowed down to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and with joined palms, he described to the Lord how a number of kings were suffering because Jarasandha had imprisoned them. 20,000 kings who had refused to submit absolutely to Jarasandha during his world conquest had been forcibly imprisoned by him in the forest named Giriraj. The kings said, as related through their messenger, O Krishna, Krishna, O immeasurable soul, destroyer of fear for those surrendered to you, despite our separatist attitude, we have come to you for shelter out of fear of material existence. That's probably my 10. So, Jeremiah, did you want to start?
Sure. We'll hop in at 26 and go to 36.
Got it.
All right. I got you. All right. So people in this world are always engaged in sinful activities and are thus bewildered about their real duty, which is to worship you according to your commandments. This activity would truly bring them good fortune. Let us offer obeisances unto the all-powerful Lord, who appear as time and suddenly cuts down one stubborn hope for a long life in this world. You are the predominating Lord of the universe and have descended into this world with your personal power to protect the saintly and suppress the wicked. You cannot understand, O Lord, how anyone can transgress your law and still continue to enjoy the fruits of his work. O Lord, with this corpse-like body, always full of fear, we bear the burden of the relative happiness of kings, which is just like a dream. Thus we have rejected the real happiness of the soul, which comes by rendering selfless service to you. Being so very wretched, we simply suffer in this life until under the spell of your illusionary energy. Therefore, since your feet relieve the sorrow of those who surrender to them, please release us prisoners from the shackles of karma, manifest by the king of Magda. Wielding alone the prowess of 10,000 maidened elephants, he has locked us up in his house just as a lion captures sheep. O wielder of the disc, your strength is unlimited, and thus 17 times you crushed Jarasandha in battle. But then, absorbed in human affairs, you allowed him to defeat you once. Now he is so filled with pride that he dares to torment us, your subjects. O unconquerable one, please rectify this situation. The messenger continued, this is the message of the kings imprisoned by Jarasandha, who all hanker for your audience. Having surrendered to your feet, please bestow good fortune on these poor souls. Sukadeva Goswami said, when the king's messengers had thus spoken, the sage of the demigods, Narada, suddenly appeared, bearing a mass of golden matted locks on his head. The supremely effulgent sage entered like a brilliant sun. Lord Krishna is the worshipable master of even planetary rulers like Lord Brahma and Lord Siva. Yet, as soon as he saw that Narada Muni had arrived, he joyfully stood up along with his ministers and secretaries to receive the great sage and offer him respectful obeisances by bowing his head. After Narada had accepted the seat offered to him, Lord Krishna honored the sage according to scriptural injunctions and, gratifying him with his reverence, spoke the following truthful and pleasing words. Lord Krishna said, it is certain that today the three worlds have attained freedom from all fear, for that is the influence of such a great personality as you, who travel at will throughout all the worlds. There is nothing unknown to you within God's creation. Therefore, please tell us what the Pandavas intend to do. Cliffhanger. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. No problem. Well, we got a little more to go. We got Pomsey, you want to grab these last, whatever?
Yes,
Very
Prabhuji.
good. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Sri Narada said,
I have seen many times the insurmountable power of your Maya, O mighty one, by which you bewilder even the creator of the universe, Brahma. O all-encompassing Lord, it does not surprise me that you disguise yourself by your own energies while moving among the created beings as fire covers its own light with smoke. You can properly understand, who can properly understand your purpose. With your material energy, you expand and also withdraw this creation, which thus appears to have substantial existence. Obeisances to you, whose transcendental position is inconceivable. The living being, caught in the cycle of birth and death, does not know how he can be delivered from the material body, which brings him so much trouble. But you, the Supreme Lord, descend to this world in various personal forms, and by performing your pastimes, you illuminate the soul's path with the blazing torch of your fame. Therefore, I surrender unto you. Nonetheless, O Supreme Truth, playing the part of a human being, I shall tell you that your devotee Yudhishthira Maharaj, the son of your father's sister, intends to do. Desiring unrivaled sovereignty, King Yudhishthira intends to worship you with the great fire sacrifice, the Rajasuya. Please bless his endeavor. O Lord, exalted demigods and glorious King, eager to see you, will all come to the best of sacrifices. O Lord, even outcasts are purified by hearing and chanting your glories and meditating upon you, the absolute truth. What then to speak of those who see and touch you? My dear Lord, you are the symbol of everything auspicious. Your transcendental name and fame is spread like a canopy all over the universe, including the higher, middle, and lower planetary systems. The transcendental water that washes your lotus feet is known as in the higher planetary systems as Mandakini River, in the lower planetary systems as Bhogavati, and in this earthly planetary system as the Ganges. This sacred transcendental water flows throughout the entire universe, purifying wherever it goes. Sukadev Goswami said, when his supporters, the Yadavas, objected to this proposal out of eagerness to defeat Jarasandha, Lord Keshava turned to his servant Uddhava and said, and smiling, addressed with fine words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, you are indeed our best eye and closest friend, for you know perfectly the relative value of various kinds of counsel. Therefore, please tell us what should be done in this situation. We trust your judgment and shall do as you say. Sukadev Goswami continued, thus requested by his master, who, though omniscient, acted as if perplexed. Uddhava took this order upon his head and replied as follows.
Now, there's your cliffhanger right there, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
That makes us all got to come back next week if we want to find out what the heck is going on, right? That's really cool. That's very good. Wonderful, two wonderful, really wonderful chapters, you know. If you read them just by yourself sometime and just in your mind, in your mind's eye, you imagine the situation that Krishna's in these different palaces, performing all these activities with these 16,000 wives and how he's doing and setting the perfect example. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that whatever great men do, common men follow. Whatever exemplary acts they set, all the world pursues. So Krishna said, if I didn't also perform these religious acts, all the world would be put to ruination. So he told Narada and everybody said, please don't be disturbed that I'm doing these things. See, Krishna is above all these laws. He's outside of all these laws. He's the creator of all these things. Yet he does not transgress them either. And if he does, there's a reason for it, and it turns out to be absolutely perfected in the end. And it's an amazing thing. Like when you see that he grabbed the chariot wheel for Bhishma, remember, and they were going to fight. Yeah, he promised he wouldn't take a weapon, but he did. See, you better watch Krishna. He's a little tricky. And whatever he's got going on, it's going to be good for everybody. And he'd already mentioned that he comes again and again and again to get rid of the wicked in the material world, right? Duskritam, what is it? Prichanaya saranam vinashya chaduskritam, dharma samstapanartaya, sambhavame yuge yuge. So yuge means yuga after yuga. Krishna is coming again and again. You die, whenever and wherever. There's a decline of dharmasya, where there's no religion in the world. Krishna will come and get rid of the duskritam and establish the sadhunam, the devotees. So it's a very wonderful arrangement that Krishna does this, and he does it really to satisfy everybody's desire. Some people want to kill Krishna. Can you think of anybody who wants to kill Krishna, y'all? Just name one. Who?
Jarasandha.
Who?
Jarasandha.
Jarasandha, yeah. There you go. He's the main one here in the story. He was defeated 17 times after Krishna went and in Rakshasa style took Rukmini away. Rukmini didn't like it. All those kings got together here, headed by Jarasandha. And even though the Yadavas, who are like lions among men, it says, inconquerable. This is Krishna's direct descendants. And when Samba went for the marriage, they tried to get him. They couldn't hardly wrestle him down. This is Krishna's son. He had the power and the beauty of Krishna. How could they restrain him? It was very, very difficult. So try to understand that all these kings wanted Krishna dead. They want to be the rulers of the world. I want to be the most beautiful, wealthy, wise, famous, powerful person. That's what everybody wants. So they're hating Krishna. Well, Krishna blesses them anyway. You can hate Krishna and make it back home, back to Godhead by doing that, by constant meditation. If you look at the life of King Kamsa, if you look at the life of King Kamsa, even though he was killed by Krishna, he was awarded a particular type of liberation. There's several kinds of liberation: opulence of the Lord, the same bodily features as the Lord, etc., and so on. So he achieved one of those great liberations. And we can see that, of course, the story of Jaya Vijaya, after 3 different births and deaths, they all also went back home, back to Godhead. But the whole world was strangled by their prowess over even the demigods like Indra and even Brahma. And everyone gave up and they had to go to Krishna. And that's what Krishna wants. He wants us to come to him again and again and again and again. This is actually delineated very nicely in this last chapter, because he says, let me read these prayers, these wonderful prayers. Let me go back to the one I'm thinking about here. Let's see which one it is. Here it is. Text 29. Therefore, since your feet relieve the sorrow of those who surrender to them, please release us prisoners from the shackles of our karma. Now, their karma, they say, is manifest as the king of Magadha, which is the one who's got these 10,000 maddened elephants and it locked these great kings up just like a lion captures sheep, is what it said. So in that situation, they're reminding the Lord that you're the wielder of the disc, that your strength is actually unlimited, and thus 17 times you crushed Jarasandha in battle. He let him beat him one time just to keep him a little bit hopeful. And it says, but now this Jarasandha is so filled with pride that he dares to torment us, your subjects. O unconquerable one, please rectify this situation. Have you noticed that Narada always shows up about right now? You ever noticed that? Krishna called Narada his eye. Did you notice that? Did you know that Narada Muni is an incarnation of God? Did you know that? Well, I think he's the second or third one, right? What's the second one? No, you got Varaha, Kurma, I think, and then Narada. If I'm not mistaken. No. You got the Kumaras first, right? Is it Kumaras? And then Varaha, and then Narada. I'm pretty sure. There were 22. I'm sorry?
It's first is a fish, then it's a tortoise, then it's Varaha the boar, then it's Narasimha.
No. We actually read these 22 in their order.
22. Oh, God.
We read these. I'll find that for you. We'll go back through it so you can see whichever one it is in chronological order. We did this the other day because they had a class up in Mount Juliet, and I went there, and so we pulled up the details of the incarnations of God, and there were 22 of them mentioned. Not to speak of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna Varnam Tvasak Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parsanam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sumedasa. That means that the Sankirtan movement will be started by the golden avatar who will descend with all of his plenary portions, the five Panchatattva, and he will establish this holy name as the Yuga Dharma. Nam Namakadi Bahuda Nijasarva Shakti Statrapati Niyamita Smarane Nakala. So Krishna says, or Chaitanya says, that God has invested all of his potencies in these holy names, and our job is simply to remember Krishna. Now, let me ask you a question. What did Narada ask for? The Lord was going to give him anything he wanted. Now, if you know, don't say it, okay? Wait just a minute, Vamsi. I see Vamsi about to jump. You got to watch Vamsi. He's fast on the trigger, okay? He's a gunslinger philosopher. But can anybody else, other than Vamsi, name what Narada wanted? Because we just read it. What did Narada ask Krishna for? No takers going once? Going twice? All right, I'm going to open the floor. Vamsi, do you know? What he said? Vamsi don't even know.
Oh, he wanted to come see the Lord. Or you're talking about the last chapter where he said,
Yeah, what did Narada ask for when he said that the Lord would give him any boon that he wanted? All right, I'll give it to you. All right, I'm gonna make it. He said, "I want to simply remember you." That was it. See, this is the way pure devotees think, guys. This is the important part of the whole study in Bhagavad Dharma. The important part of the whole study and Bhagavad Dharma is that we got to surrender to Krishna. Krishna says, abandon all varieties of religion and simply surrender to me. I'll protect you. Do not fear. Ramchandra said, lay down your weapons, surrender to me. I'll protect you. Lord Nrsingadev, he took Prahlad Maharaj and took care of all the demons and everything for him. It wasn't a problem. So my point is here, what did Narada ask for? Narada said, I just want to remember you always. I never want to forget you. This is our purpose, guys. Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada called it. Krishna consciousness means that we are always 24 hours, 7 days a week in a state of samadhi. When you always remember Krishna and you never forget Krishna, you actually enter into a state of Brahman realization. That's called, you actually achieve that Brahman platform. And that's a state of samadhi. Because everything that you see is connected to Krishna at that point. Everything you see is connected to Krishna. So in text 26, it said, people in this world are always engaged in sinful activities and thus bewildered about their real duty, which is simply to worship you according to your commandments. This activity would truly bring good fortune. Just think about it. Just worship Lord Krishna according to his commandments. It's going to bring good fortune. Bible says it, seek the kingdom of God first, all things added unto you, right? So let us offer our obeisances unto the all-powerful Lord who appears as time suddenly cuts down one stubborn hope for a long life in this world. Guys, long life in the material world is not going to please you. All the money in the material world is not going to please you. All the fame in the material world is not going to please you. All the most beautiful women in the world are not going to please you. All of the greatest palaces that you could own and landlordship is not going to please you. So what's going to please you? We're like little spoiled brats, aren't we? We go to Krishna, gimme, 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 gimme. Right? Krishna's running a big valet service, right? And so, I want my daily bread. I'd like to have it now. Oh, if there's no daily bread, well, it must not be God. See how easy it is to be an atheist. It's pretty quick. I mean, you could pick it up pretty fast. Okay. So, are you deserving of daily bread? Are you deserving of Krishna coming to see you? What have we done for Krishna? That's the question, not what Krishna has done for us. So, when Krishna says, "What can I do for you, Narada Muni?" Narada Muni doesn't say, "I want money, I want a palace, I want a gorgeous wife, I want power over men." No, he doesn't ask for any of those things because he knows that's what causes vexation of the spirit soul and confusion of the consciousness. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that the mind of one who is irresolute in their purpose is many branched. Their mind is many branched. They've got a lot of division of knowledge. But the ultimate end all and of all knowledge and of all seeking after knowledge, Krishna describes in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says, Raja Vidya, Raja Guyam Pavitram, Idam Pratyakshavangamam Dharmyam, Sasukam Kartam Avyaya. In other words, this greatest secret, this greatest king of knowledge, of all seeking after knowledge, it is loving devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the one thing that is the true treasure chest that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to open up freely and dump on you, whether you deserve it or not. Whether you dump on it or not. I mean, whether you want it or not. I'll give you an AL. Sure. I don't know what that means, Sudevio, but that's pretty cool. I'm allowing you to take the screen there, see what's happening. Look at that. Hello, everybody. That's cool. Well, guys, the idea here is this, that the Lord appears from time to time to cut down this stubborn hope of trying to live here forever. We think we can live in the material world forever, don't we? And if we don't live in the material world forever, we don't think we're going to be happy. So what did Hiranyakashipu ask Brahma for? What are you asking for?
Immortality.
Yeah, but could Brahma give it to him?
No.
No. A Brahma Bhuvanal Loka, right? What is it? Avartanorjuna. From the highest to the lowest in the material world, all are places of death, wherein birth and death takes place, even in Brahma Loka. So, all right, that's pretty cool. AL companion. So anyway, the only thing I know, guys, is that if we learn the lessons that we're taught in these stories, we can finally achieve true happiness. Prabhupada said, chant and be happy. I mean, it sounds pretty simple, but that is the truth, because by chanting God's name incessantly, constantly in your mind, in the back of your mind, where you're doing everything, you are connected to Krishna, even unconsciously. And in your dreams, you can be connected to Krishna. So Krishna says, when you are fully cognizant of me through this process, then certainly you will come to me. So you have to immerse yourself in these stories, and you have to realize that we are hoping against hope. Prabhupada said, hoping against hope. If we think we're going to find happiness in the material world, good luck. Your graveyards are full of people who've been trying to find happiness here. It's full. That's the one place people are dying to get into, is the graveyard. They're waiting in line. So my point is if that's the end result of your hard work, you can't take it with you. What's the plan, guys? What's the plan? So the plan has to be the answer, and it says by these great souls, it says, oh Lord, with these corpse-like bodies, always full of fear, we bear the burden of relative happiness of kings, which is just like a dream. So they have some relative happiness. So you think to be president of the United States is a pretty happy good thing, huh? Look at the stress and anxiety this guy's going through, guys. I mean, he can't get any sleep. Everybody's calling him. Nobody likes him. And the reason is it doesn't matter what you do, ain't nobody going to like you because they could have done it better, right? You know, they could have done it better. They all want to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule the world. Jeremiah knows that song. I bet you played that in your band before. Everybody wants to rule the world, but it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. Krishna says, I am Sarvadharma Prityaja Mami Kamsadanambraja Hantam Sarva Pape Moksha Ishami Masuja. Krishna is the source of all the material and spiritual worlds. Anyone who knows the nature and activities of Krishna's birth and appearance and activities in the material world does not take birth again here, but will attain to his eternal abode. These are axioms found in the Vedic literatures, promises made out of the mouth of God himself directly to you. And so you can take those words to the immortal bank account of the spiritual life. And the rest of the words that we're hearing from so many nonsense so-called gods or whatever they might be. We just heard about the false Vasudev, where this king had dressed up just like Krishna with a peacock feather. He had a fake Kastuba jewel. He had all these different decorations. And he went out on the battlefield with Krishna to oppose Krishna. And here's this artificial Krishna. Krishna simply took the Sudarshan chakra and just took his head off. It just took a second, guys. It's not a problem. We cannot perform the activities that God can perform. So if you can't do it, step back, offer your respects, bow down at the feet of the Lord, offer your obeisances, and ask for protection. And in that state, God will bless you. So, and you can see what Krishna is willing to do. He said that Krishna gave Narada his own seat. He honored the sage according to all scriptural injunctions and gratified him with his reverence, and he spoke pleasing, wonderful words to him. And he worshiped Narada and said that Narada is the Lord and Master. And if you look at the life of Krishna, what did he do? He would get up in the morning, he would leave his wife there. They were all very disappointed that he left, but nonetheless, he had to perform his morning prayers and rituals to the Brahmins, and he offered charity every day. And he would sit down and meditate upon himself. Now, we're probably doing that too, but that's Maya on our behalf. We're sitting there thinking, man, I'm looking pretty good today. I think, maybe if I fix my hairs just right, I'll finally be God. You understand what I'm saying, don't you guys? This is our vanity. So it says that Krishna had covered his own energies like a fire covers its own light with its own smoke. That's like the Yoga Maya or the Mahamaya. So that's what's keeping us in illusion. So if you want the smoke to be removed, if you want the illusion to be removed, you got to accept the spiritual master. You got to accept the words of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. You have to take the same path that Arjuna took. And by doing that, you too will become God realized in short order, and your life will become sublime. So, guys, are any comments or questions about any of that anybody wants to add?
Yeah, I got one. So I was looking at, of course, chapter 69, text 35. Of course, we know that Krishna is a Kshatriya, so he is a warrior. He's allowed to kill, obviously, because of that. But my question, and I was just more for curiosity's sake, is it states that he was killing animals meant for offering and sacrifice. So who is he offering a sacrifice to?
Well, try to understand that Krishna, when he was here, he was the perfect religionist.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you look at his life story, you'll find that, and we'll go back to that chapter for a second, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We kind of skipped through that a little bit. I took the last chapter because there's only so much time that we have. There was more philosophy in the last chapter, so I thought I'd hit a little bit of that for you. But
Well, I think it stuck with me because I read that part. So I was like, wait a minute, what? You
yeah,
know?
you need to know that Kshatriyas are allowed to gamble. Kshatriyas are allowed to have multiple wives. Kshatriyas are allowed to kill on behalf of religious principles. Kshatriyas practice killing, and the great kings of India, the Rajarishis, would go out barehanded or with a knife or whatever they may have and kill a tiger and bring it back. And that was considered to be their proof that they were qualified to be the king. So try to understand that they have to kill on religious principles
Mhm.
under the guidance of the Brahmin.
Sure. And I captured that and understand
Yeah.
that, but I was just like, because from my understanding, of course, every time a new avatar of Krishna comes along, it's because the way it was explained to me is he wants to experience new things. He wants to, irreligion happens, but, Ram didn't really have a lot of friends. So here comes Krishna. He's got a lot of friends. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes because he wants to feel how it feels to be a devotee, So, I mean, that's kind of how it was explained to me. And so I
Yep.
just didn't know if there was somebody he was offering sacrifices to, or if it
Yeah,
was just, hey, here you guys go. I know you're going to need this because you got your religious principles to do, you know?
that's a pretty good question. In the purport of that verse, if you read it, it just says that they were killing animals that were meant for sacrifice. It
Yeah.
does not really
There
allow.
wasn't much, no pun intended, but not much meat there.
Well, it did not in that purport. It did not elaborate on who
Correct.
the animal.
That's kind of why I was thinking, I was just kind of curious if
Yeah.
maybe you had some insight on that.
Well, yeah, I
But
do actually. Let me just say that in the Vedic custom, whenever a sacrifice of an animal was made, it was meant for the liberation of the animal. Like if
mm,
you look at the the Rajasuya sacrifices, fire sacrifice, and in that sacrifice, I believe that a horse goes in one end, comes out the other, renewed. If I'm not mistaken, I mean somebody who's a Vedic scholar on these things might know more about this, but
mhm.
my understanding is that these animals that were sacrificed were liberated or given a human opportunity to know Krishna or whatever that may
Yeah.
be. If you look in the Bible, what is that? Job was going to kill his son. Is that right? Patience.
I think it was Elijah, wasn't it?
Elijah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the patience of Job.
Yeah.
But anyway, he did. He was put
And
to the
children. That's why you're making the, yeah.
yeah, but he was put to the test, wasn't he? And he took
Yeah.
it all the way to the end where he's about to plunge the knife into the body of his own son. And then the Lord intervened. He said, just want to test your sincerity. He didn't actually make him kill him.
Yeah.
So, but in the Bible, it also says that the Lord can see that when sacrifices are being used for the purpose of sense gratification, he's not satisfied with that.
Sure.
So in the Bible, I believe it's in Ecclesiastes, I'm not sure, but it does say because they were taking the black sheep on the dark moon night, cutting its throat, getting all the blood out of it, and then it would become kosher.
Hmm.
At that point, they could eat the flesh, offer it to the Lord and eat the flesh. But later in that same Old Testament, it says, the Lord says, I turn my back on your burnt offerings of flesh. He said, I turned my back on it. So the Lord is not interested in all those burnt offerings of flesh.
Yeah.
In some cases, the demigods need that. That's a fact. And there's a lot of offerings, and they have to put together whatever the demigod likes. We know that Durga likes human sacrifice,
Mhm.
and Durga will drink the blood from the skull of the human being.
And that's kind of why, like, I didn't assume that he was gathering this to, offer a sacrifice to a demigod, but I kind of like the lens of, what, this is part of religious ritual, but I'm actually just liberating these animals. I think
Yeah,
that's a pretty neat lens to look at it.
that's pretty cool.
So,
Well, I'm glad the way you put it there.
yeah.
There's a lot of different perspectives about this and about sacrifice in that era. But Kshatriyas, because they're willing to lay down their life for others, is considered to be the greatest of all love. Christ himself spoke about it in the Bible, New Testament, where he said, "No greater love hath any man and he's willing to lay down his life for his friends. So the Kshatriyas are willing to lay down their life. They train their whole life to protect people against irreligious activities, against demons who would exploit, and they're willing to die on your behalf. So therefore, they're given certain concessions, in their own life. They're a little rowdy bunch, a little rowdy bunch. But and you can look into the life of these Kshatriyas. I mean, they gamble. There's a little liquor drinking. There's some crazy stuff going on. I mean, it does happen. So, but not for the Brahmin. Not for the Brahmin, Jeremiah. You're Brahmin.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Brahmin.
All right, that's beautiful. So, any other point or question anybody else has about anything?
Krishna Prabhu, there's a comment online.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is that comment?
It says, "I love the fact Krishna takes on our qualities and activities, as it shows that our qualities and activities are of him. It is quite beautiful and shows the divine in each of us, in his image and likeness. All things come from him, and all things come to him. It is the eternal unity. If you look at it, it looks like the eternity symbol of 8, where 4 plus 4 us equates to supreme knowledge, Krishna conscious in 8. It is the same equation that one cannot be without the other, or the two shall become one. As the above, so below as above."
Pretty cool. Yeah, that was Heb. We appreciate that insight. Very interesting. Thank you. Yeah, we're created in God's image and his likeness. As a matter of fact, it says we're qualitatively one with God, but we're not quantitatively one with God. It's called a Chinta Beta Beta Tattva philosophy. And what it means is, yes, we are one, but we are different. And our differences are that we are not all powerful. We're powerful within our body, within our little core here. But Krishna's body is everything we see. So he has cognizance of all his body. It'd be like somebody saying, you're conscious of your little toe. And you will be. I promise. Somebody took a pin and just pricked your little toe. You'd be so conscious of your little toe, you couldn't forget it. See what I'm saying? So it may be a small part of your body, but it becomes the primary function, because you're painfully aware of it. Well, Krishna is aware of everything. Angani yasha sakalendriya briti manti pashanti panti. So this talks about in the Brahma Samhita that all of his senses are interchangeable. He can create with his eyes. He can do whatever he wants. All of his limbs are interchangeable. Not with us, but with Krishna. Okay, so anything else? Ajay, thank you for reading that. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yep.
I know. I was thinking, in the first chapter, Krishna went to his. He got up and he went to his court, and it said it was a place where material energy couldn't enter, because this was his place, I suppose, and so Maya couldn't enter, and he was being entertained by all these jesters and everything.
Well, yeah, he was sitting on his throne in Dwarka as the king, and he would have subjects come in, and that's when one of the great kings came in and said that Jarasandha had imprisoned all of his friends. Can you help us out? So that you're going to find out how Krishna does that in the next ensuing stories. But and we've already found out how he killed the 17 armies in the previous stories. So very interesting stuff. Stick with us week after week as we take up this great task of the Sanatana Dharma. The eternal function of the soul is to love God. And to love God, you should know God. You should know who he is. It's called Bhakti Vedanta. Those two things together are perfect. You got a hand raised, Ajay?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, can you please announce about the weekend program, so that if someone would like to join us, they can join us?
Sure. Yeah. So you were having a program in Murfreesboro Downtown Square all day on Saturday this coming week. It's called Earth Day, and we're going out there setting up a booth for Duck River Preserve and Dive Forest, and we're going to be inviting people to come honorary members that day. So we hope to sign up lots of honorary members and some sustaining members, and we should have 5 or 6 of us already going to be representing there. I think Ajay's coming, Chandra's coming, Mother Rangavati's coming, Bhavananda the Great is coming. And then who else? Ajay, I already mentioned you.
He is trying to show by example how to live as a householder. So what is he trying to say, that he's giving us all these options that we could follow with each of his households and live a life of a grahastha? Because you got to take certain things, but not everything. Like you can't go marry 16,000 wives.
Well, but Krishna showed in each palace exactly how it should be done. That's what Ram came for. Don't you remember? Ram was the perfect king. He was perfect. Matter of fact, he was a little paranoid. This is guy because he went out and listened in to people's conversation in the night. He would go incognito. He would disguise himself just so he could hear the real truth of what people were thinking of him. That's one of the reasons why he abandoned Sita, because they thought, look, Sita's been in the palace of another man. She's been soiled or this or that, even though she proved it in the fire sacrifice that she is completely perfect. And Agni himself was there and attested to her purity. And still, she was put away because Lord Ramchandra didn't want any question about his religiosity and about his adherence to religious principle. So in the same way, Krishna did the same thing by showing us and exhibiting to us exactly how things should be done. Now, we can't imitate, like you said, Prabhu, we cannot imitate Krishna. You should not imitate. How can you imitate 16,000 wives? You can't do it. You can't kill demons every day. You can't do all the things that Krishna did. But you can follow, his whole protocol. It says, we just read a minute ago, it says to follow the commandments of the Lord is the key to this thing, because his commandments are designed to bring peace in everyone's life and harmony in all things. And by doing that, we can all be perfectly happy. But if you say, Vamsi, you're going to do what you want independently, and I'm going to do what I want, and Sudevio over here is going to do what you want, Ajay is going to do what he wants, none of us, it's not going to work out. I mean, my law, you can say, hey, it's my law, it's my way. Okay. But in a society, there has to be agreed principle. If you say, I don't stop for the red light, there's going to be a collision. There's going to be some death. So we have to be a little careful not to do that. We have to follow the instructions of the Lord, the ways of the Lord. Christianity itself means to be like Christ, to follow Christ, do what he did. If you can do what he did, you'll be a saint too.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Prabhu.
All right. Anything else? You guys are wild. Hey, thanks so much. These 2 stories I would recommend, seriously. Go to prabhupadvani.org and you can find Amala Bhakta Swami. He does a kind of a dramatic theatrical presentation of these 2 stories. Very, very cool. I think you would enjoy it. Go there. If you can find it, you listen to these, you'll really love it. And you'll enter into, like, you'll see the palaces, you'll see the wives, you'll see Krishna doing his thing in all these different locations. So thanks for everybody coming. Please send my respects, and I hope to see you again. And I appreciate you, and I hope to see you next week too, guys. Please say after me, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram.
Hare Rama.
Hare Ram.
Hare Rama.
Ram Ram.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Be blessed, and I'll see you next week, guys. Same time, same station. Hare Bol. Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada.